स्ट्रीमिंग जो कर रहे हो?
हाँ, लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग स्टार्ट।
कहाँ पे जाएगा?
ये सर हम काजमी सर को लिंक शेयर कर दे रहे हैं, तो
उनके स्टार्ट कर चुके हैं?
हाँ, लाइव स्ट्रीम स्टार्ट हो गई।
यूट्यूब ना?
हाँ सर, अभी वही चैट्स ऑफ करने हैं, तो बस चैट्स ऑफ कर
चैट्स ऑफ कर?
हाँ, ऑफ कर दिया।
ये पूरा जितना मतलब
हाँ
पूरा स्ट्रीम होगा?
हाँ,
पूरा लेक्चर, पूरा सेशन, मतलब
अभी का जो
स्टार्टिंग से लेकर लास्ट तक का पूरा सेशन, ठीक है? लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग पूरी।
Good morning. Our chief guest is about to reach. I request all the students to be in discipline.
काज में फ़ोन किसका?
अरे इसमें ठीक
इसका देखो, उससे लगा। काजमी सर कहाँ गए? इसको वहाँ लगा। काजमी सर, ये फ़ोन वहाँ से गिर गया, वहाँ से ये फ़ोन
गिर गया था।
लगाइए वहाँ से।
यश कहाँ गया? ऊपर होगा यश। यश कहाँ? ये गिर गया, लगाओ इसको।
A very good morning to all the dignitaries, delegates and guests. I, Shabukta Ali, faculty at UIN, extend a warm welcome to all our delegates. On behalf of United Institute of Management, who has clapped all of us today for this 2 days national conference on business management in digital environment. I request all the delegates to please come forward for our auspicious lamp lighting ceremony.
Deepa
Thank you so much, all the delegates. Goddess Saraswati is an embodiment of wisdom, learning, and knowledge. So let's seek her blessings in all the spheres of life. And for that, I request our students to please come on the stage and present Saraswati Mandana. Thank you, students. This graceful performance has filled with full of energy in the whole atmosphere. Now I request our Vice Chairman, Sir UGI, Mr. Satpal Kulati, sir, to present a bouquet to our Chief Guest, Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Singh, Sir, Vice Chancellor of Professor Rajendra Singh Rajutaya University. Now I request Vice President Sir UGI, Mr. Gaurav Gulati Sir, to present a bouquet to our keynote speaker, Guest of Honor, Professor Arun Kumar Sir, Professor of Department of Commerce and Business Management, University of Allahabad. Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor H.P. Shukla, Principal of UCR, to present a bouquet to our keynote speaker, Guest of Honor, Professor Tanuj Nandan Sir, Professor of Economics, Allahabad. Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Sanjay Srivastav Sir, Principal of United Institute of Technology, to present a bouquet to Professor Anand Mohan Agarwal Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor of United University, Prayagraj. Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor K.S. Dubey Sir, Principal of UCEM, to present a bouquet to Professor Vivek Kumar Singh, Professor Rajendra Singh Rajubhaiya University, Prayagraj. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Professor K.K. Malviya Sir, Principal of UIN, to present a bouquet to Professor Archana Chandra Ma'am, Professor Rajendra Singh Rajubhaiya University, Prayagraj. Now I request Professor Alok Kumar Mukherjee Sir, Principal of United Institute of Pharmacy, to present a bouquet to Dr. Manju Singh, Head of Department of Commerce, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Government PG College, Prayagraj. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Principal of United Institute of Management, FUGS, Dr. Devendra Kumar Tiwari Sir, to present a bouquet to Dr. Manish Kumar, Associate Professor of Department of Dean William R. H. once said, "The aim of education is the knowledge of not of facts but of values." It is an occasion like this we get an opportunity to test our knowledge and understanding. We look forward to get knowledge and exposure about what best of the brains think about this very dynamic theme of business management in digital environment. And for this, I request our principal, Dr. Devendra Kumar Tiwari Sir, to please come on the stage and address the audience.
Thank you, ma'am. Respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Rajendra Singh, Rajubhaiya University, Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Singh, respected Professor Arun Kumar Sir, University of Allahabad, Department of Commerce and Business Administration, respected Professor Tanuj Nandan Sir, Professor SMS NIT Prayagraj, respected Professor Anand Mohan Agarwal Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, United University, respected Dr. Vivek Singh Sir, Professor Rajubhaiya University, Prayagraj, respected Dr. Rachana Chandra Ma'am, Professor Rajubhaiya University, Prayagraj, respected Dr. Manju Singh, Associate Professor, SPM College, Affiliated College of Allahabad University, and respected Honorable Vice Chairman Sir, are pillar behind all activities, and I would like to honor and remember our respected Honorable Chairman Sir, Mr. Jiji Gulati Sir, and respected President Dr. Jagdish Gulati Sir in absentia, my dear faculty members, principals and deans, principals and dear students, good morning to all of you. I extend warm welcome to all of you in the inaugural session of 2 days Nestle conference. I acknowledge the gracious presence of our Vice Chancellor Sir, who has spared some time to grace this occasion on the first inaugural session of our first Nestle conference we have organized at UIM FUGS. We are thankful to you, sir, that you have graced this occasion, you have blessed us. It is a great moment for all of us, our faculty members, our other delegates, researchers and students, that your presence has really blessed all of us. I know you have very busy schedule. On our request, you have accepted to present yourself in this ceremony. I am really thankful to you, sir. On your leadership, we are experiencing a good academic environment in Professor Rajan Singh Raju Bhaiya University. Different academic activities are streamlined, administrative systems are made restructured, suitable to the academic environment. We are thankful that you are Vice Chancellor in our university. We welcome you, sir, at this moment. I would like to, I am feeling very proud and honored to welcome a distinguished professor, and in fact very special for me, my research guru, Professor Arun Kumar sir. Sir, you have accepted request to grace this occasion as a keynote speaker. It's a pleasant for me. It's a pleasant for my students also. All my students already know what you are and the way you teach. It has all reflected through my classes and my personality, your teachings. And today we are all are blessed, and we are in fact excited to listen to you in this session. Thank you, sir, for accepting our request. I am also grateful to the Professor Tanuj Nandan, sir. He has accepted our request. Very humbly he has accepted our request. Thank you, sir. I know, sir has taken half day leave. Thank you, sir. And a very special keynote speaker for us today. Some of the students from Bmde, they are taking admission in MNIT. One of the students, when I shared it as a status that sir is coming as a keynote speaker, I got a telephonic call that it's a wonderful moment for me, and I've been present in the campus where I was a student, and my present professor, very excellent professor, is coming as a keynote speaker. I think there are some internal exams going on in MNIT, that's why she could not come. Thank you, sir, for your presence in this moment. I am also very much thankful to our Vice Chairman, sir, who has always given us support, motivation to conduct all such type of activities that promotes academic environment in the college campus and all UGI campuses. Thank you to you, sir, always motivating us for better work. I am thankful to Vice President, sir, Mr. Gaurav Gulati, sir. He has always guided every moment for everything. Thank you very much, sir. I am very special thankful to our Pro-Vice Chancellor, United University, Professor Anand Mohan Agarwal, sir. Sir, we are always blessed to have you among us. You are a guide, motivator, and a great professor among us. We are always lucky to find you always as a senior professor in management with us. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion. I am thankful to the professors at our Raju Bhaiya University, Dr. Vivek Singh, sir, Dr. Archana Chandra ma'am, Dr. Vivek Singh, sir, thank you, sir. And we will be in constant touch with you because I know you are QAC coordinator at Raju Bhaiya University, and we are also NAC aspirants this year. Thank you, sir. We request your always blessings. Thank you, Archana ma'am. I am really thankful to Dr. Manju Singh ma'am. We already know her presence in United Campus at different occasions, especially at NSS programs. This time she has graced this occasion as an academician. Ma'am has also accepted our request to chair a session, technical session at United BBDC campus. Thank you, ma'am. I am thankful to the Raj Lakshmi ma'am, who has spared some time from United University to grace this occasion. Ma'am is a coordinator in Department of Commerce and Business Administration in United University. I am thankful to the UGI principals, deans, teachers, professors, and all the delegates who have participated in this event. Thank you very much for coming to this 2 days history conference. I am hopeful that you are going to get very informative sessions in this 2 days history conference. Now coming to the topic that we have selected for the history conference, the technology is ever advancing, and this technology I have learned from lot of things from our professor Dr. Arun Kumar sir. Because of the technology, the business management has opportunity to enhance its efficiency and effectiveness. this 2 days special conference on the topic business management in digital environment, its relevance and importance and scope can be understood by one simple example by a company, Facebook. We all know Facebook has renamed itself, rebranded in fact कहा जाए, rebranded itself as Meta in August 21 just to align itself the features of the metaverse, because it has been through various research in Bloomberg report on December 21. Bloomberg report estimates that a lot of opportunities are there in the metaverse technology platforms, and around 800 billion US dollar this particular market is going to be in next year, that is next 2 years, that is 2024. Another report says that almost 25% of the people will spend at least 1 hour in a day up in 2026 in metaverse, and there are a lot of other technologies that the business can use them for the purpose of its enhancement, especially effectiveness and efficiency of the business can be increased with the help of application of information technology tools and other digital tools. I am not going to take much time because we are waiting for our keynote speakers. I will just end with a small word. CEO and media. Jensen Huang feels that we can reduce the baselessness by use of technology in business. He says we waste too much of material because we cannot simulate the logistics. He says we waste whole bunch of things to overcompensate for the fact what we can't stimulate. With these words, I would like to end my talk. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome you all in the inaugural session of the 2 days Ministry Conference. Thank you very much. You have spared some time to attend this function. You graced this occasion, especially our dignitaries, our Vice Chancellor, sir, our keynote speakers. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request our Vice Chairman, sir, Mr. Satpal Gulati, sir, to please come on the stage and share some knowledgeable words.
Good morning, everyone. Respected our chief guest, Professor Akhilesh Kumar Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Raju Bhaiya, University Prayagraj, our keynote speakers, Professor Arun Kumar ji from Allahabad University, Professor Tanuj Nandan ji, School of Management, MNIT, और आए हुए सभी हमारे विशिष्ट अतिथिगण, प्यारे बच्चों, first of all, I am really grateful to our honorable guest who has given us the valuable time, and we are very grateful to all of you, sir. Since last 23 years, we are affiliated with the Raju Bhaiya University, और एक ये बहुत बड़ा समय है जो हम इनके साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, और जो सपोर्ट हमें रजू भैया यूनिवर्सिटी से मिलता है वो हमारे बच्चे हमसे ज़्यादा अच्छा जानते हैं कि समय समय पर कोई भी समस्याएं, कोई भी चीज़ें आई हैं तो उनको पूरा सहयोग हमारे रजू भैया यूनिवर्सिटी से मिला है। आज हमारे बीच में हमारे वाइस चांसलर रजू भैया यूनिवर्सिटी मौजूद हैं। मैं बहुत ही फख्र के साथ कह सकता हूँ कि आप हमारे बीच आए हैं और आपने इतना वक्त हमें दिया है, हमारे लिए बहुत बड़े सौभाग्य की बात है। यूनाइटेड ग्रुप, SRDG, गुलाटी मेमोरियल सोसाइटी, सब आपके बहुत ही कृतार्थ हैं। हमारे बीच हमारे और भी अतिथि लोग आए हैं। मैं आप सबको बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हुए अभिनंदन करता हूं और आप सबके सहयोग से आज ये इंस्टीट्यूशन जिस स्थिति पे है, ये भी अपने आप में एक सराहनीय है। 23 वर्षों में यूनाइटेड इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट फैकल्टी, ये इंस्टीट्यूशन हमारा 23 साल में आज उत्तर प्रदेश में एक अपना स्थान रखता है। इसका भी श्रेय हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी को ही जाता है कि उनका सहयोग इस इंस्टीट्यूशन को हमेशा मिलता रहा है। तो हम समय समय पर कोई भी तब्दीलियाँ, कोई भी बढ़ोतरी करना चाहते हैं तो हमें बहुत मिलती है और बहुत हमेशा मदद मिलती है। मैं इसके लिए आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी का बहुत शुक्रगुजार भी हूँ और उम्मीद करता हूँ इसी तरीके से हम लोग दिन दूनी रात चौगुनी मेहनत करेंगे और तरक्की करने का प्रयास करेंगे। मैं बहुत ज़्यादा समय न लेते हुए आप सबका एक बार अपने संस्थान की तरफ से बहुत स्वागत और अभिनंदन करते हुए विराम करता हूँ। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Professor Anand Mohan Agarwal, sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, United University, Prayagraj, to please come on stage and enlighten us with knowledgeable words.
Honorable Professor Akhilesh Kumar Singh, Vice Chancellor, Bmde University, Professor Arun Kumar, Professor Tanuj Nandan, other dignitaries, my colleagues at United Group, Sri Satpal Gulati ji, my younger brother Gaurav, and my dear students. I am very happy to be here representing United University, which is part of the United Group. Any kind of conference, workshop, seminar is always very impressive way to learn new things which normally is not available in the classroom. And I must congratulate Dr. Tiwari and his team that they have chosen a very contemporary topic, and there will be deliberations for 2 days, and I'm sure that the students will be benefited a lot. I'm new to Allahabad, so I'm still meeting people. Fortunately, I could connect with Dr. Arun Kumar, where about 13-14 years ago, I was examiner for one of his PhD scholars. So the world is very small. We keep moving here and there and again come back to the circle. Coming to the topic, though I will not claim that I will be able to justify, but every day when I go in the morning to university from civil lines, I hear an advertisement in the radio, FM. And it says, आप लोगों ने भी सुना होगा, गोलगप्पे खाते हुए फोटो खींचना डिजिटल है, तेजी से मोटरसाइकिल चलाना डिजिटल है, और कुछ 5-6 पॉइंट वो बताता है. So somehow digital has become a word which probably we are using very loosely and sometimes not effectively. Because any technology which is developed has got both dark side and the bright side. And sometimes what happens, we are more bogged down by the dark side rather than the bright side. I am one of the victims of this dark side. I lost 46,000 rupees one day through Zomato. I ordered some food in Noida. After a minute it said your order has been cancelled. And with all so-called padha likha, I gave my PIN to them. And whatever money was there in my account, they just left 25 rupees and everything was deducted within seconds. So my request to all of you is that whenever you are using any technology, particularly you are a management student, so you will be using too much technology, be careful. Now, business management has been evolving since ancient time, and though we are, at least I consider myself to be the person who has been very fortunate to see from bullock cart, lantern to jet, air traffic, missiles, everything. One day I was talking to one of my friends and he was talking very great about CRM. जस्ट मजा लेने के लिए मैंने उसको कहा तुम लोग क्या CRM पढ़ाते हो? चलो मैं तुमको CRM दिखाता हूँ बलिया में। मैं बलिया को बिलोंग करता हूँ और वहाँ एक पान वाला है, मेरे 3 कजिन ब्रदर हैं, मैं तो पान नहीं खाता हूँ, वो तीनों पान खाते हैं और तीनों का अलग अलग वो है मसाला। तो नौकर जाता है और बोलता है छोटे भैया का पान दे दो, वो मसाला दे देता है। आज तक कभी गलती नहीं किया उसने। इससे बड़ा CRM आप क्या बताएंगे? लेकिन वो मुझे समझाता रहा, ठीक है, वो अपनी जगह पर एकदम सही था, and it is needed because now the world has become a global village, तो अब वो एक एक आदमी को याद रखना मुश्किल है। लेकिन मेरा क्या कहना है that please try to use the technology for the betterment. Nowadays what happens, I was sitting here and I have put practically in all my groups that I will not be available till 1 o'clock on WhatsApp and other things. Still people are sending, sir please see the WhatsApp, please see the WhatsApp. So 3 घंटे में कोई heaven is not going to fall. And anyway Gaurav is here, so there is no problem. Gaurav is the only one who can tap me anytime. So what I am saying, that people should understand the privacy, people should understand the busyness of others, and whenever you are doing any business through digital platforms, don't overdo. You just put some query on your Make My Trip or any other thing. I don't know how it spreads everywhere. And everyone starts calling. You are looking for a flight to Delhi, you are looking for a hotel in Kanpur, you are looking here, you are looking there. Please don't do that. The technology has enormous power. The technology has given us the reach throughout the world. We can procure, I teach materials management and supply chain management. Now I can procure anything from anywhere where I can get the best price. Earlier it was not possible. You had to negotiate through letters and phone calls and other things. Now within 5 minutes I can close my dealing, whether it is in Indonesia or China or Hong Kong or anywhere in Middle East. I can close in 5 minutes. So let's be very prudent in our use of technology. I will not take much of time because I am very excited to listen to Dr. Arun Kumar and Dr. Dhanuj Nandan. They must be enlightening us through the recent things. So once again, congratulating Dr. Tiwari and his team on this very wonderful organizing the conference. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such valuable information. Now let's have a pleasure of listening our chief guest. Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Singh, sir, Vice Chancellor of Professor Rajendra Singh Rajubhaiya University, Prayagraj. Sir, please.
यहाँ ले आओ बेटा, ले आओ। अरे व्हील लगे हुए हैं, ऐसे लेके आओ। बस 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 बस, चलो ठीक है। नहीं नहीं निकाल सब।
Okay, good morning, नमस्कार। आज के यूनाइटेड ग्रुप के वाइस चेयरमैन श्री सतपाल गुलाटी जी, श्री गौरव गुलाटी जी, प्रो वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर मोहन अग्रवाल साहब, आपके प्राचार्य डॉक्टर देवेंद्र तिवारी जी, principals of participating institutions, faculty members, आज के कीनोट एड्रेस स्पीकर जो है प्रोफेसर अरुण कुमार जी इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी, प्रोफेसर तनुज नंदन जी जो MNIT से हैं और फॉर्चुनेटली हम और वो पड़ोसी रहे हुए हैं, क्योंकि जहाँ से उन्होंने अध्ययन किया है उस विश्वविद्यालय में मैं फैकल्टी था और हम दोनों का विभाग पास पास में ही है, तो इसलिए मैं पड़ोसी की बात कर रहा हूँ। Dear students, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank United Group of Institutions for inviting me as the chief guest in this August gathering and in this conference on business management in digital environment. जैसा सतपाल गुलाटी जी ने कहा कि यूनाइटेड इंस्टीट्यूशंस का और प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र सिंह रजूभैया यूनिवर्सिटी का एक लंबा गहरा संबंध रहा है। हमारी ये यूनिवर्सिटी बहुत नई है, 5 साल पुरानी विश्वविद्यालय है, लेकिन जब भी हमने बात बिल्कुल सही कही है, ताली दोनों हाथ से बजती है। हमने भी जब आपसे रिक्वेस्ट किया है, आग्रह किया है, आपने विश्वविद्यालय का सपोर्ट और सहयोग आगे रह के किया है, इसके लिए आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार। So probably I think this is first or second time when I'm visiting any institution, और शायद पहली बार मैं यूनाइटेड ग्रुप ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशंस में किसी फंक्शन में आया हूँ, बल्कि PRSU के किसी भी एसोसिएटेड कॉलेज के फंक्शन में शायद पहली बार आया हूँ, तो इसके लिए भी आपको धन्यवाद कि तिवारी साहब को जैसा अग्रवाल साहब ने कहा कि कॉन्फ्रेंस, सेमिनार, ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स, FDPs, ये सारे के सारे जो भी होते हैं वो बियॉन्ड क्लासरूम एक्टिविटीज को एड्रेस करने के लिए होते हैं। आई होप कि यहाँ पे 2 दिन में कुछ पेपर प्रेजेंटेशंस वगैरह भी होंगे।
There are 11 sessions happening.
Okay, so there are 11 sessions in which different papers will be presented by the researchers. So my humble request to all the researchers are that यहाँ सारे students बैठे हुए, so what I say that we all are born researchers, right? हर इंसान जो होता है वो जन्मजात शोधार्थी होता है। By learning research methods and the method of researching, we hone or we sharp our abilities, right? तो एक अनपढ़ आदमी जो होता है वो भी born researcher होता है। एक दिन मैं अपनी क्लास में I was interacting with my students and I was trying to explain them about the regression technique of statistics, that conceptual clarity I was trying to give to them. तो मैंने उनको एग्जाम्पल दिया कि एक अनपढ़ किसान जो होता है, राइट, वो भी रिसर्चर होता है, वो भी स्टैटिस्टिक्स का यूज करता है, वो भी एनालिसिस करता है। एक रिसर्च में हम क्या करते हैं? We identify a problem, we gather some data, we analyze that data, and we come out, with a conclusion and a finding, and which could be generalized and which could not be generalized, isn't it? तो मैं कहने लगा कि बोला कैसे साहब वो गांव का किसान कैसे स्टैटिस्टिक्स जानता है और वो कैसे रिसर्चर होगा। तो मैंने कहा चलो एक गांव का किसान खेत में खड़ा हो जाता है और खेत में खड़ा होने के बाद वो ऐसे आसमान में देखता है और प्रेडिक्शन करता है कि आज शाम तक बारिश होगी। तो मैं बोले कि वो कैसे प्रेडिक्शन करता है? there must be some variables जिनको वो देख करके प्रेडिक्शन करता होगा। बोले क्या साहब? मैंने कहा खेत में खड़ा होता है, वो देखता है कि अच्छा बादल किस कलर के हैं, काले हैं, भूरे हैं, कैसे हैं। फिर वो ये देखता है कि अच्छा बादल की हाइट जमीन से कितनी है। फिर वो देखता है कि हवा किस दिशा से किस दिशा को चल रही है, ऐसा मिट्टी उठा के देखता है। फिर वो देखता है कि हवा की गति क्या है, राइट? फिर वो ऐसे शरीर को करता है, बोला थोड़ा चिपचिपा हो रहा है, ह्यूमिडिटी लेवल कितना है। On the basis of all these 4-5 variables, experience है उसका। कौन कौन से variables हो गए? Color of the cloud, height of the cloud, wind speed, direction of the wind, and humidity in the environment. ये 4-5 चीजों पे वो कहता है ऐसा लगता है आज शाम तक बारिश हो जाएगी और शाम तक बारिश ये रिग्रेशन होता है। रिग्रेशन यही करते हैं सर। We try to identify the contributions by individual as well as joint contribution of different variables in predicting an independent variable, right? Technically, this is how we define regression and multiple correlation, isn't it? तो हम सब सारे लोग ध्यान में रखना, विद्यार्थियों खास करके हम बॉर्न रिसर्चर्स हैं, जन्मजात शोधार्थी हैं। By learning the research techniques, मैंने जैसे कहा कि हम उन एबिलिटीज को, एक्टिविटीज को शार्पन करते हैं, ऑन करते हैं, बेहतर करते हैं, we become a better। तो ऐसा क्यों करते हैं? Because we want to be better in every sphere of life, isn't it? Whether it's academics or whether it's business। पहले बात जितने रिसर्चर्स हैं उनके लिए कि it's a lifelong process, keep on learning, keep researching, and keep bettering yourself। हमारे एक वो पूछते थे विद्यार्थियों से, मैं खास करके पूछता हूँ, विद्यार्थी बताओ पढ़े लिखे हो या पढ़ते लिखते हो? पढ़े लिखे हो या पढ़ते लिखते हो? नहीं सुनाई दिया? ग्रेट। जीवन भर पढ़ते लिखते रहना, पढ़े लिखे बन के मत रहना, राइट? तो इसी तरह से अच्छे रिसर्चर बन के रहना जीवन भर, और रिसर्च जीवन के हर स्फीयर में आपको काम देगा, वेदर पर्सनल हो, प्रोफेशनल हो, किसी भी तरह का लाइफ हो, उसमें एक अच्छा रिसर्चर होना बेहतर होता है, हमेशा बेहतर होता है, राइट? नाउ आई come to the next one, that is business management in digital environment। अभी अग्रवाल साहब बता रहे थे, मैं भी थोड़ा सा। अच्छा, how many of you are using WhatsApp? Great. Facebook, social media, Instagram, Twitter, great, बहुत बढ़िया। Unfortunately, मैं किसी पे भी नहीं है, राइट? So I use only telephone, text and email, and I believe I am connected also. उन्होंने कहा ना कि 1 घंटे तक आदमी फेसबुक पे रहेगा, 2 घंटे वहां जाएगा, 3 घंटे छोड़ दो ऐसा. So now you can see एक YouTube पे एक डिस्कशन है 2 लोगों के बीच में. कभी आपने देखा हो तो बहुत 1-1.25 घंटे का वीडियो है. दैट इज बिटवीन मार्क जकरबर्ग एंड एक इसराइल में एक एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट है, प्रोफेसर है हरारी करके. प्रोफेसर हरारी एंड मार्क जकरबर्ग, इन दोनों के बीच में 1.5 घंटे का आपस में डिस्कशन है. कभी आप देखिएगा, बहुत लंबा वीडियो है. और एक वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड की बात करता है और दूसरा रियल वर्ल्ड की बात करता है. मार्क जकरबर्ग डील्स विद द वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड एंड हरारी डील्स विद द रियल वर्ल्ड. इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन. कभी आप बहुत आराम से सुकून के साथ में देखना और ये जानने की कोशिश करना कि दोनों अपने अपनी दुनिया की बात किस तरह से रखते हैं एक दूसरे के आमने सामने. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन. मैं आपसे सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहूंगा, बिजनेस करिए, टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करिए, डिजिटल बनिए, जितना करना है करिए, इंसानों को मत छोड़िए, राइट? उसको मत छोड़िए, उनसे जुड़े, राइट? बड़ी क्या कहूँ, इसने तो ऐसा कर दिया, जैसा आपने कहा ना कि एक वेबसाइट पे जाओ, कुछ भी करो तो तमाम तरह के इनफ्लो चालू हो जाते हैं. ये बिजनेस है आज के दिन में? नहीं, शायद नहीं. भाई, कहा गया कि ये जो हमारी मीडिया है, ये जो AI है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के कारण ही हो रहा है. सो इट्स ए कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ ऐसा कहा जा रहा है. वो हरारी का एक लेक्चर सुन रहा था तो उसने कहा कि ये जो ह्यूमन शरीर है वो बायोकेमिकल है और बायोकेमिकल को एल्गोरिथम से कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है, क्योंकि ये बायोकेमिस्ट्री है, केमिकल है, केमिकल कुड बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय एल्गोरिथम. सो आने वाले समय में आज शुरू हो गया है. 70-80% हम लोग वी आर गाइडेड. हमको लगता है कि हम सारे डिसीजन खुद ले रहे हैं, but our decisions are influenced and guided by AI, right? बच्चे लोग करते होंगे ना, आप YouTube पे जाओ, आज एक वीडियो देख लो, अगले दिन लॉगिन करो तो पहला दिन जो देखा होता है उससे रिलेटेड 25 वीडियोज आपके सामने आ जाते हैं. अमेज़न पे चले जाओ, किताब देखने के लिए एक दिन एक तरह की बुक देख लो आप, अगले दिन आप जाओगे तो उसमें उसी तरह के बुक्स की लाइन लगी रहती है और वो आपको बाहर निकलने नहीं देता है, उसी में घूमते रहो. वी फील दैट आवर डिसीजंस आर टेकन बाय अस, बट हकीकत है कि हमारा डिसीजन रिमोटली कोई बैठ करके कंट्रोल कर रहा है, राइट? हमें क्या खाना है, हमें क्या खरीदना है, तो तिवारी साहब इन्फ्लुएंस हो रहे हो नहीं हो रहे हो? बच्चे लोग बैठे हैं, आप बताओ, आप लोग प्रभावित होते हो ऐसे या नहीं होते हो? बिल्कुल होते हो. ये इसको मैं बोलता हूँ लिटरेसी. ये लिटरेसी बहुत जरूरी है. लिटरेसी विच इज कॉल्ड मीडिया लिटरेसी, कि जो कंटेंट, हाउ टू यूज मीडिया, व्हेन टू यूज मीडिया, हाउ मच टू यूज मीडिया, और उसके ऊपर जो कंटेंट है उसकी ऑथेंटिसिटी वो, दिस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड लिटरेसी, मीडिया लिटरेसी. हम थोड़ा लिटरेट बनना चाहिए. वंस वी बिकम लिटरेट इन दिस डायरेक्शन, फिर आप समझो कि कोई हमें इस तरह से 56,000 रुपए जा नहीं सकते हमारे, राइट? तो young boys and girls are here. अभी क्या हो रहा है, हम ऐसा लगता है कि पूरी दुनिया से कनेक्ट हो गए हैं, राइट? पहले लोग कहते थे कि दुनिया से कनेक्ट हो गए, घर वालों से या पड़ोसी से डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए। वी डोंट नो हु आर आवर नेबर्स, बट वी नो कि हमारे वर्चुअल ग्रुप में कितने लोग हैं, ऐसा बोलते थे। बट अभी दिक्कत ये हुई है कि हम खुद से डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए। वी आर गेटिंग डिस्कनेक्टेड टू आवरसेल्व्स। यू नो, एज ए ह्यूमन बीइंग, बॉयज गर्ल्स कितने सेंसेस होते हैं? 5 सेंसेस ना? नहीं, 5 ही तो होते हैं। ठीक है, तुम जो कह लो 6वां कॉमन सेंस होता है, 7वां होता है, ऐसे सेंस तो बहुत सारे हो जाएंगे, लेकिन 5 ही सेंस है, राइट? When you could see, you can taste, you can touch, you can hear, you can smell. यही है ना 5? ये जितने यंगर लोग बैठे हैं, गौरव भी यंग हैं, आप, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अब वो सिर्फ कहाँ तक सीमित रह गए हैं? Their eyes, their ears, हेडफोन लगा के, their eyes and 10 fingers. That's it. So they are connected to their eyes, their ears and 10 fingers. That means we are getting disconnected to ourselves. हम खुद के सेंसेस से भी डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं। ये कॉशन दे रहा हूं मैं। डिजिटल इन्वायरमेंट में बिजनेस कीजिए, खूब कीजिए, बहुत अच्छे से कीजिए, लेकिन कहा ना आपने कि ओवर यूज मत करें। आप मशीन नहीं बनो भाई, आप इंसान हो, इंसान ही रहो, और इंसानों के बीच में रहो, मशीनों के बीच में मत रहो। If I ask, I keep on asking students कि कितनी देर यूज करते हो? और आजकल तो मोबाइल में वीकली टाइम आता है ना, कितना टाइम आपने पर डे यूज किया? सो ऑन एन एवरेज कितना टाइम यूज करते हो पर डे? Can't hear you. Little bit loud. Okay. So almost internationally ये proven है कि younger generation जो होती है वो टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ में they are interacting with almost 5 to 6 hours a day. Guys, ये कॉशन का, ये बिल्कुल कॉशन दे रहा हूँ। 24 घंटे हमारे पास समय होता है, 6 से 8 घंटे हम सोने और अपने डेली कोरस के लिए लगा देते हैं, 5 से 6 घंटे हम इसमें लगा देते हैं। फिर हमारे पास स्वयं के लिए और दूसरे के लिए कब समय बचता है, ये जरा इधर हाथ रख के सोचना, राइट? यस और नो? थोड़ा सा विचार करना दीजिए, है ना? बिकम लिटिल मोर मीडिया लिटरेट। एक टर्म आजकल चलता है, आप बिजनेस वाले लोग ज्यादा जानते होंगे, टेक्नोलॉजी के लोग और भी ज्यादा जानते होंगे, पूरी दुनिया में बात हो रही है, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबल इनोवेशन। एन इनोवेशन विच इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल, राइट? तो अब जितनी भी इनोवेशन हो रही है उसके साथ में हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है कि क्या वो हमारे सोसाइटी के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, और है तो कितना रिस्पॉन्सिबल, राइट? ट्विटर ने कभी जब बनाया हो, किसने था? अभी तो बेच दिया, पहले कौन था ओनर? अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही बिका है ना ट्विटर। तो उसने कभी ये नहीं सोचा होगा कि ट्विटर को लेकर के और ट्विटर के ऊपर ऐसे हेट्रेड वाले मैसेजेस पूरी दुनिया में फैलाए जाएंगे और ट्विटर इंसानों को बांटने के लिए उपयोग किया जाएगा। ये कभी सोचा होगा ट्विटर के बनाने वाले ने, या इवन फेसबुक ने कभी सोचा होगा? नहीं सोचा होगा। उन्होंने तो अच्छा तो रिस्पॉन्सिबल इनोवेशन एक ग्रुप, ये कहा जाता है कि रिसर्च ग्रुप में कुछ ऐसे लोगों को रखो जो ये फोर्स ही कर सके कि आने वाले समय में इसका हमारे सोसाइटी के ऊपर, ह्यूमंस के ऊपर क्या शॉर्ट टर्म और लॉन्ग टर्म में इल इफेक्ट पड़ेगा, राइट? सिमिलरली, क्योंकि 2 दिन की कॉन्फ्रेंस है तो आप बहुत सारे रिसर्चर यहाँ इकट्ठा हो रहे हो, तो मैं आप लोगों से भी रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि जब भी बिजनेस करो उसमें थोड़ा, या बिजनेस प्लेटफॉर्म को, डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म को यूज कर रहे हैं बिजनेस के लिए, तो किसी भी बिजनेस में, लाइफ के किसी भी एस्पेक्ट में, किसी भी रिस्पेक्ट में, ये रिस्पॉन्सिबल शब्द को जरूर ध्यान रखना कि वॉट एवर वी आर डूइंग, इज इट रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू द सोसाइटी, इज इट रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द ह्यूमन बीइंग, ये जरूर आप सोचिए। विद ऑल दीज वर्ड्स मैं आप सबका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ, धन्यवाद व्यक्त करता हूँ कि आपने मुझे एज ए चीफ गेस्ट बुलाया। आप सबको भविष्य के लिए बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। लेट्स होप कि हमारा आने वाला कल आज से बेहतर होगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच।
Sir, please stay on the stage. I request our Vice Chairman Sir and Principal Sir to please come on the stage and honor our Chief Guest with presenting the letter. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with such influential message. Now I request our guest to please give a big round of applause to our chief guest for sparing time from his busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir. I request all the audience to give a big round of applause to our chief guest. We very rarely get this opportunity to listen to the words of a great speaker. Yes, I am talking about Professor Arun Kumar sir, Professor of Department of Commerce and Business Management at Allahabad University. He is an academician, author, consultant, entrepreneur and whatnot. He is associated with institutions of national and international repute for academic and research work. I consider it as a great honor to welcome Professor Arun Kumar sir to share some knowledge on business in a flat world. So please.
So in the meantime, the technology is making me available. Very good morning to each one of you. It's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you to Melissa for inviting me, although he has gone to see the Honorable Vice Chancellor off. Professor Agarwal, Professor Tanuji, Manjuji, other principals, deans, faculty members of the United Group of Institutions, Satpal ji, in absentia, Gaurav ji, Tiwari ji, and dear students. It's a pleasure for me to be with you. Few things I'd like to share. I hope that it's okay. So this is business in a flat world. We have got enough words of caution. सतर्कता की बहुत सारी बातें बेहतर, अच्छी, जरूरी बताई गई हैं, है जरूरी। मुझे याद है आज से लगभग 25 साल पहले जब पहला क्रेडिट कार्ड मेरे पास आया और मैंने अपने पिताजी को दिखाया कि पापा ये क्रेडिट कार्ड मुझे स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया ने दिया है, तो उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि अरे इससे तो बहुत गड़बड़ हो जाती है, ये तुमने क्यों ले लिया? मैंने कहा पापा ये भी बात ठीक है। और शायद हम सब ने पढ़ा होगा कुछ न कुछ विनिमय, वस्तु विनिमय, बार्टर सिस्टम के बारे में जरूर जानते होंगे कि शायद हजारों साल पहले भैंस के बदले गेहूं और किसी और चीज के बदले कुछ और, घोड़े के बदले में सोना, ये मिलता था। और कभी फिर कुछ करेंसी, मनी, मुद्रा आ गई, तो तभी तो ये रिस्क आया होगा कि अब 100 भैंसों के बदले एक थैली में कुछ रुपया है, वो लेके भाग जाएगा कोई भी। 100 भैंस तो लेकर नहीं भाग सकता था, और 100 भैंसों की वैल्यू एक थैली में आ गई, लेकिन भाग जाएगा कोई भी। ये तो आया होगा ना कभी। तो क्या हम आगे बढ़ने से रुक जाए? ऐसा नहीं हो सकता, हमें आगे बढ़ते रहना होगा। There is no other option but to keep on moving with the technology, with changing environments, and learn how to live in this new world, which is flat, which is not goal. दुनिया गोल है, पराठा है, भूगोल बताता है, लेकिन अभी गोल नहीं रह गई, अभी फ्लैट हो गई। क्या हो जा रहा है? तो बच्चों ये हो जा रहा है, अमेज़न के जंगल में बैठा हुआ ये मेंढक देखता है कि कब कोई पतंगा, कीड़ा सामने आता है, लेकिन कुछ कमी है कहीं, कुछ जनरल फ्लूक है, absent by the general fluke. He perceives his surroundings as they were a second ago. एक सेकंड पहले उसको जो था वो उसको समझ आता है, तुरंत दोबारा समझ नहीं आता। तो क्या होता है जब वो अपनी जीभ निकालता है कीड़ा पकड़ने के लिए, जिससे उसको कुछ मिल जाए, जी जाए, तब तक वो कीड़ा उड़ जाता है। इंफॉर्मेशन पुरानी थी, एक्शन बाद में हुआ, फूड गायब हो गया, कस्टमर कहीं और चला गया। अब इस कस्टमर को कहां से लाए दोबारा? This customer has bought something from someone else. That guy is going to have edge over me in the market, and I need to learn to have the latest information. So friends, I am referring to this flat world. This flat world is emerging the first time
who used the word flat is Thomas Friedman, and he explained it, how the world is flat. So, the world is flat because knowledge is being shared. Multiple forms of sharing knowledge in books, irrespective of time, distance, and geography. And even the language is immaterial now. You can translate, Google Translate is there. कोई भाषा हो तुरंत आपकी भाषा में बता देगा, काम भर का ट्रांसलेशन तुरंत कर देता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. So, leading to digitalization, virtualization, and automation of almost everything is making this world flat. 3 versions are there. We are in the 3rd version, the age in which the world is turning flat and is being built around individuals and small groups. What are the छोटे-छोटे groups हैं? उसी में जीता रहता हूँ. अभी किसी सर ने बताया कि उससे बाहर आइए, ज़माने से जुड़िए. लेकिन दुनिया यही है. This is the flat world. कौन-कौन से flatteners हैं? कैसे-कैसे flat होता चला गया? We know a lot about it. I'm just giving glimpses of it. So, common standards, International Organization for Standardization is making the things uniform across the world. आपने ISO का नाम सुना है? वही सब खेल करता रहता है. हर जगह वैसे ही मिल जाएगा. TCP, IP, HTTP, HTML, workflow softwares, and so many things are making this a flat world. Outsourcing is there. Everything is outsourced. In the cloud kitchen, you have a cloud kitchen. I was wondering where the cloud and where the kitchen is. But now when I realized that the cloud kitchen is a term where your kitchen may be connected to the consumers through the cloud. So this is cloud kitchen. आप बनाइए, आज बनाने का मन हो बनाइए, नहीं बनाने का मन हो नहीं बनाइए. 5 साल पहले मेरे सीनियर थे संजय तिवारी सर, उन्होंने यहीं से MBA किया था. उन्होंने एक दिल्ली में रेस्टोरेंट खोल लिया. मैंने पूछा उनसे कि सर ये रेस्टोरेंट कैसे चलाते हैं? बोले कुछ नहीं, जब मन करता है तब चलाते हैं. जिस दिन मन होता है उस दिन खोलते हैं, जिस दिन मन नहीं होता नहीं खोलते. ये कैसे रेस्टोरेंट? बोले I have a set clientele, so they visit my restaurant. And I have menu for that evening only. The restaurant is open in the evening, not on every day, but on some day when I feel like working. And the menu decided by me. I'll let a few customers of mine know and they'll come. ऐसे ही हो गया cloud kitchen में. So, lot of flatteners are there. मर्ज हो गया बहुत कुछ. ये जो फोन है जेब में, ये कैमरा भी हो गया, न्यूज़पेपर भी हो गया, और प्लेयर भी हो गया, पता नहीं क्या क्या हो गया. उनमें कुछ बचा नहीं है. मुझे तो कभी-कभी डर लगता है कि अगर मान लीजिए OTP नहीं आ रहा होगा, मैं किसी दूसरे देश में गया होगा, तो पेमेंट कैसे होगा? ये फोन नहीं चला, ये बिना OTP कुछ होता नहीं. ये एक चीज हो गया, कन्वर्जेंस हो गया. So convergence, so you can scan, email, photograph, fax, print, do whatever you wish to, and so on with the help of one small device. The second convergence is happening because of this command and control giving way to connecting and collaborating. And we are experiencing new powerful networks. इसी सबने कहा, मैं उनसे पूरी तरह से सहमत हूँ. लेकिन क्या अड़ोस में जो लोग बैठे हैं उसमें वो लोग मिल जाएंगे जिनसे आपका मन मिलता हो? वो कहां से मिलेगा? आप तो कुछ करते हैं जो मुझे पता ही नहीं. डूडल बनाते हैं, मुझे पता ही नहीं डूडल क्या है. ना मेरी फैमिली में किसी को पता, ना मेरे मोहल्ले में किसी को पता. कहां से मिलेगा ये बंदा? नेटवर्किंग कहां से आएगी? उसके लिए ये मदद करेगा. So, other convergence, now even you have multiple identities. Even the GST
department is saying who is the owner and what is the trade name. दोनों अलग अलग कर दिया, जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट ने भी अलग अलग कर दिया, multiple identities. So that's also one of the converging factor. So once upon a time we used to have publishers for the books, publishers for the magazines, and so on. Now one company is in a position to do a lot of things. We have EMR gadgets for a particular activity. I have already shared with you. Now one simple gadget is in a position to do a lot of things. Why is it happening? How is it happening? Because the hardware and the software is there to help us. Now the question is that in this changing environment, who will be able to succeed? So before going to this business and flat world, let's understand the kind of workforce you have to be. आपको कैसी workforce होना है? आपको क्या आना चाहिए? क्या आपको लगता है कि आज जो आपने सीखा है वैसा ही आज से 10 साल बाद का बच्चा सीख रहा होगा? ऐसा नहीं होगा। आज से 10 साल बाद आप बहुत तेजी से ऑब्सोलीट हो जाएंगे, आपसे बेहतर लोग आ जाएंगे। तो क्या करें? तो ये जवाब किसकी जरूरत होगी इस वर्ल्ड में? वर्कर्स हु आर स्पेशल, those who specialize, they are anchored to other workers and they are really in a position to learn new things adaptably. So new skills wanted. आप जो यहाँ सीख रहे हैं, जो यूनिवर्सिटी सिखा रही है, जो यूनाइटेड सिखा रहा है, वो पूरा नहीं पड़ेगा, आगे और कुछ सीखना पड़ेगा। वो क्या सीखना पड़ेगा? आपको ढूंढना पड़ेगा, क्या सीखे, क्या सीखे, क्या सीखे, और उसको सीखिए। There is a fall in the demand of all the skill sets, and lifetime of a particular skill set is decreasing. कोई एक चीज सीख ली थी, फोटो खींचना आता था, अब वो कोई फोटोग्राफर नहीं बुलाता, सबकी जेब में फोटो है, खींच लेता। टाइपिस्ट होता था, डिक्टेशन वाला सॉफ्टवेयर उसी मोबाइल में बोल दीजिए रिकॉर्ड कर लेता है, न कि वो रिकॉर्ड करता है बल्कि टाइप कर देता है। So a particular skill set, whatever you feel is a perfect skill set for you, forget about it. Keep on learning new skills. Learn how to learn is critical. So business in this flat world is a shift towards service and consumer experience more than manufacturing. बहुत सारा सामान आ रहा है, इतना फोन है समझ में नहीं आता कौन सा ले, इतना टीवी है समझ में नहीं आता कौन सा ले, इतनी वॉशिंग मशीन है, इतना माइक्रोवेव, आई डोंट नो क्या खरीदेंगे जहाँ एक्सपीरियंस ठीक मिल जाए, जहाँ कोई सर्विस दे दे, कुछ हो जाए। So the customer experience is getting important. So we have moved from 4 P's, that is product, price, promotion, and place, to 3 C's. That is, am I in a position to control my product the way I want to use it? Do I have choice? How many choices you have? Google किया, Amazon पर गए, बहुत सारा कुछ मिल गया, तुरंत चाहिए, क्या मिल पा रहा? 3 दिन बाद आएगा। That's why we have moved to quick commerce now. In metropolitan cities, products are being delivered within 2 hours. So we need to learn. It's not e-commerce, it's not mobile e-commerce, but it's quick commerce now. Everything is connected with the help of QR codes. URL पर टिकट टाइम नहीं है, URL लिखने का भी नहीं है मौका, QR कोड है बस, स्कैन करो, आगे बढ़ो। So you have control, choice, and convenience to create a new experience. We as a student must know how to do that. Only then we'll be able to survive in this new flat world. So innovation in the way to reach out to the customer will be the first priority. Product innovation, second priority. देखा था वो ज़माना, जब मारुति की नई कार आती थी तो लोग इंतजार करते थे कि नया मॉडल आने वाला है। अब तो पता नहीं कितना मॉडल आता है, पता नहीं कौन कौन सी कार आती रहती, समझ नहीं आता।
And companies need to anticipate the customer needs. Marketing is all about proactive behavior. It's a nanosecond culture, मुझे अभी चाहिए, and we have to think about the customer of your customer also. Husband has told husband, I have been buying something, but who is the customer? Maybe my family members, my kids, my wife. So we need to think, ये जो खरीद रहा है किसके लिए खरीद रहा है, क्यों खरीद रहा है? Think of the customer's life cycle. अब customer loyalty भी नहीं रहेगी, तुरंत कुछ एडवांटेज मिलता है तो दूसरी जगह शिफ्ट कर जाता है. तो देखना पड़ेगा कि कैसे वो लॉयल्टी बनी रहे या लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू पे कस्टमर के जो इमोशन था वो कहीं हम आज भी इस्तेमाल कर पाए. ये जो डोमिनोज का कॉन्सेप्ट था लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू पे कस्टमर, जहां आंका गया कि $2,804 लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू है, नहीं चल रहा, तुरंत शिफ्ट हो जाता है, दूसरी जगह से खरीदने लगता है, फिर कुछ खरीदता है, फिर कुछ खरीदता है, रोज नया कॉम्पिटिटर आ रहा है. So we need to think in terms of business economic value, functional value, psychological value, transparency, and minimizing customer confusion. खाली वही नहीं है जिनको बहुत क्लैरिटी है, बहुत ऐसे जिनको बहुत कंफ्यूजन है, क्या खरीदें क्या नहीं खरीदें, तो वो कम करने की कहीं जरूरत है. तिवारी साहब ने मेटावर्स की बात की थी. यस, नाउ दिस इज द न्यू वर्ड, दिस द न्यू वर्ड buzzword and is going to have its impact on business. So it's flat to metaverse word. What is this metaverse? Is a prompt to meta and verse. What is this meta? Is a self-referential, मैं अपनी बात खुद करता हूँ, and verse is a parallel song. कोई augmented reality, virtual reality बढ़ाकर अपने बारे में बता दे रही है. ये हमें बिजनेस में अब देखना पड़ रहा है. देखिए मेरे मुंह से निकल गया कि पढ़ रहा है, यानी उम्र हो रही है, ये हो रहा है, यही है दुनिया, और नहीं रहा है, यही है दुनिया, इसी में जीना होगा. तो हो क्या रहा है? It is immersive entertainment. Oculus, business and operations are being done with the help of metaverse. Improved education and training can happen with the help of metaverse. Enhanced customer experience can be extended with the help of metaverse. We may have word meetings with the help of metaverse without missing an individual. We may have the meeting although the individual is sitting somewhere else. Advertising, branding, marketing, every opportunity is being provided by this metaverse. So, the importance of digital location is really immaterial. कहाँ आप हैं कोई मतलब नहीं, डिजिटल लोकेशन आपकी क्या है, आप यहाँ से बात कर पा रहे हैं, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है. So, digital representation of real estate is there. पूरे मॉल दिखा देते हैं, आपको जाकर दिखा देते हैं. लेंसकार्ट क्या कर रहा है? चश्मा पहन के देख लीजिए, वहीं अपने कंप्यूटर गोल चलेगा कि चौकोर चलेगा, लाल चलेगा कि नीला चलेगा, कैसा चलेगा, ये है मेटावर्स, यही है दुनिया. तो हमें आपको खुद को इसके लिए दोस्तों तैयार करना है. This is really great that united group of institutions and this faculty organized this conference of doing business in digital world. I once again thank each one of you for listening to me with a great patience and giving this opportunity to me to talk about such things. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now it's time to invite very knowledgeable and dynamic academician. He is Associate Dean Academic, Associate Dean Resource Generation and International Affairs, Deputy Dean Student Welfare. I request Professor Tanuj Nandan sir, Professor at MIT Allahabad, to share some insightful knowledge on emerging digital payments landscape in India?
My most respected senior professor Arun Kumar sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor sir, Dr. Anand Mohan Agarwal, respected Professor Archana Chandra, respected Professor Manju Singh, very dear Rashri, see इतने टाइम नहीं मिलता तो नाम भी प्लेस होना लगता है. Esteemed colleagues from faculty, administration, participants, dear students, it's a pleasure and definitely a privilege for me to be present with all of you in this beautiful setting. And really, like sir just said, it's an amazing choice of topic, managing business or business management in a digital environment. See, the term digital is ubiquitous today. It is all around us. In our own area of academics, we talk about digital transformations in teaching and learning. We talk about digital marketing. We talk about digital purchases. Principal Sir Dr. Tiwari, when he was speaking, he said that one of the problems with logistics is that there is a lot of wastage. Now we have digital supply chains that are coming into place, which are exactly addressing the situation of wastage. So, the digital world is all around us, and in our area of management, there are unique challenges and opportunities that are presented by it. See, it's very funny because today the process of marketing has changed substantially. When a buyer goes to the market, before he leaves his house for the market, the purchase of buying has already started. Because what do you do ultimately? You first research what you want to buy, and then you go and look at it. So you research on your computers or your mobile phones or on your internet-enabled devices about the product. You find out all its attributes. You find out about you compare them. You find out about the cost, and then you go to the market with a fair idea of what you want to buy. So the scope for the marketer who's standing in the sales, the showroom, has lessened in that respect, but it has changed. It has increased in another respect because he can target you differently. Now, how do marketers target or how do they use this opportunity? One is, of course, search engine optimization. So, the way we look for something when we want to buy it, when we are interested in it, is we do a search. Now, the search engine, what if it were primed in some way to bring up my product higher than the others? Then definitely I have an advantage. So, there is a lot of analytics that is going on. And let me tell you, there is a company, it's actually an Indian company called DirectType, one of India's own homegrown one of the largest IT companies. And like it was just mentioned, I used to look after training and placement at my institute. So they come to our institute for recruitments and then they invite us to their campus also. So 3 years back, they had invited me to their campus, one of their campuses in Bangalore. An interesting thing is that there is this very, very plush hotel called Leela Palace in Bangalore, and one of their ventures occupies the entire first floor. It occupies the entire first floor of that huge hotel, very expensive hotel, as an office space. So now, one of their ventures has become so important that they spun it off, and it was sold to a Chinese company for a very high price. That company is called Media.net. Now, I spoke to the people at Media.net, what is your business model? And he said that when you go onto the internet, as all of us observe, so maybe suddenly, supposing I am looking for an office chair, I do a search and then it usually happens in 2 or 3 phases. Now, the analytics at the back end has already recognized that I am looking out for an office chair. Now, next time I go onto the internet, what this MediaNet company does is it has leased a little bit of space on my page, the page that I am browsing. Now, within a fraction of a second, what it will do is it will tell them that Tanuj Nandan is online. It will send out a message, Tanuj Nandan is online, he is looking for an office chair. Now, who wants to buy this space? Of course, it happens in fractions of seconds, so it's not possible for individuals or humans to participate. It happens between servers, so there's an auction that takes place. And the space that is visible to me as part of that page is auctioned to the highest bidder, and they can put up their advertisement in front of me. So maybe it is Godrej, maybe it is Pepco, maybe it is some third producer, but this is where they earn their money. So it's a huge business. At the same time, there are many other things that come with it. There is a reputation risk, we could call it a reputation risk associated with it, because it's very, very important to maintain your reputation, and you have very little say in it. You have very little control over it, because your reputation ultimately is being determined by how the social media perceive you. So the social media is judge, it is jury, and it is executioner, because आपके बारे में, आपकी कंपनी के बारे में कुछ गलत इंफॉर्मेशन भी जा रही है, you will not have the opportunity to present your side. Already, you will be watched out by the time something goes wrong. Everyone, I'm sure, has heard of this big e-commerce company, very good and upcoming e-commerce company called Snapdeal. Now, Snapdeal के साथ एक छोटी सी प्रॉब्लम हुई. It was growing very well. Unfortunately, एक बिल्कुल totally unrelated company है जो जैसे हमारा WhatsApp है, उसके साथ Snapchat का भी कंपनी है. Now, unfortunately, Snapdeal और Snapchat का कॉमन है Snap, बाकी और कुछ कॉमन नहीं है. Snapchat का जो फाउंडर है, उसने कह दिया कि we are not expanding in India because we don't think India is an important market. So what do? All 135, 140 crore of us, so many of us, this is I think 700 million, 800 million use some sort of internet devices, हम सब नाराज हो जाते हैं कि Snapchat, and हमने गुस्सा निकाला Snapdeal पे. So there's a reputation risk. So that has to be taken care of. But there are tools also available to the marketer. Like there are tools for getting data. The analytics tools, you have R, you have Python, and everything is going around these things. Now, if you look at digital business, because we are people of management, then very few people really realize that there is also a back end to this. So if there is e-commerce or digital commerce, then it has to be supplemented by secure and effective payment mechanisms. So being a person of finance, when I got this opportunity, I thought I would just show you what is happening behind the scenes in the payments world. And it's an amazing story. I have brought up some statistics, which I do a lot of research in this area. I'll be sharing some statistics. And VC साहब ने एक चीज बोली थी, इंसान को मत भूलिए. So here I would like to also show that how digital payments are not only covering those of us who are privileged, but they are reaching out to those who are much less privileged than us. So I will briefly go through this. I will not. The agenda for this session is a little bit of theory, which I am not going to go into. What are the uses of digital payments? What is the current scenario in India? What has happened because of the pandemic and what we can expect to see beyond the pandemic? Certain enabling technologies. How has this digital revolution grown? What has been the catalyst, or what have been the catalysts? And we'll also talk about, if time permits, we'll talk about some recent developments. Okay. So firstly, what are digital payments? A digital payment is a transaction which is done using digital media. So what that means is both the buyer as well as the seller are using digital devices. And also it automatically means that there is no cash or other physical instrument like a DD or a check involved in it. Now, it's a quick evolving scenario. It's changing very, very fast. So new mechanisms are coming up all the time. But overall, the use has increased very fast. And all of us are aware of this, but let's have a look at the common ones. So in India, of course, we know we have cards like credit cards and debit cards or prepaid cards. We have NEFT, RTGS, IMPS. I'm sure all of us have used it at some point of time, either to pay our fees or for some similar transaction. This is what I'll be focusing on today. Unified payments interface. We have NEFT. And then when I was talking about the insan, the last man in the line or the last mile connectivity, we have something called Aadhaar enabled payment system. So I'll just be focusing very briefly on UPI as well as AES today. And then we have PCS. And see, I always like to bring this up. This is the logo of Digital India. In this conference, we're talking about digital. And you see the punchline below that. It talks about the power to empower. And I intend to show today that actually Digital India is empowering the last citizen in India. And I have some visuals, I'll share them with you. I have a video also. Probably I'll not have time to play it, but I'll give you the link to it. It's a very simple search. You can have a look. It's a 2-minute video. You should definitely see it. We'll come to that. So, digital payments systems are not new in India. And the journey started a long time back ago, but then the government decided to set up an organization. It's an umbrella organization which covers all sorts of digital payments. It's called National Payments Corporation of India. And so NPCI has taken over all of these transactions like NEFT, UPI, etc., etc. Now, we moved from cash to digital. We got a boost because of demonetization. That was one of the objectives of demonetization. And after that period, digital transactions have grown very fast. The most important part here is that at the rate that we are growing right now, digital transactions are likely to overtake cash transactions, and we are a heavily cash dependent economy. India is unique because it's a big economy, and yet we are very dependent on cash. But sometime this year, or maybe next year, 2023, the amount of business which is transacted in rupee terms in digital mode will go beyond cash. And in fact, this is a depiction of the same thing, and this is based on data. So around 2005, digital transactions, which are the blue line, were like only 5 or 8%, and 92% was cash. But you can see that there is now a convergence, and somewhere around 2023, digital transactions will take the lead. And of course, at the back end, it's also we need to remember that India is a growing economy. We have a unique kind of a market structure where people are still dependent on cash. So there's a lot of cash in circulation, or currency in circulation is also a lot. And in fact, जब demonetization हुआ था, तो it was like 15 lakh crore rupees was currency in circulation. In September 2021, it was like almost double of that. But anyway. Now also, what happened, this was a landmark in July of 2020, digital payments became more than ATM withdrawals. So now we are doing more of our business digitally in terms of transactions than we are depending on cash withdrawn from ATMs. And so this was the first for India, and the lead has continued to increase. I'll just take you to another slide. This is what I really want to focus upon. There's a lot of data. Please take a look at this one. And this is very recent. The data till March 2022 has been added here. What I do is every so often I go onto the website of National Payments and I pull up a little bit of data. Now what I wanted to demonstrate here is that this is just UPI, Unified Payments Interface, and it came into existence in 2016. So there was no UPI before 2016, and then you can see that it took off slowly. Initially the speed was slow, but also there is one thing. If you see the oval, this is March and April of 2020 when the country was in a strict lockdown. So there were hardly any e-commerce transactions going on. There was hardly any business being transacted, so it's all dip. But if we ignore that period, just have a look at what has been happening. I've drawn a trend line to pre-lockdown, and you can see that UPI has been growing pre-lockdown. Can you see the green line, trend line? See what has happened post-lockdown. There's a second trend line. There's a difference in the slope. So pre-lockdown, UPI was growing, but it was growing at, let's say, a slope of 30 degrees. But post-lockdown, the pace of growth of UPI transactions has been so fast that actually it's difficult to get a linear trend line. It's better at some points if I fit an exponential line. and I keep on updating this data. So last time I did an update was October 2021, almost 6 months ago. Now, when I updated this data to March of 2022, I was surprised and I had to recheck the data because September, October, we are at this level. We are below 6,000 billion, which is 6 trillion. This is rupees. वो side में जा रहा है. So this, the orange lines which are the taller lines of the two, this is UPI value, rupee value. Now this is in thousands of billions of rupees. So that 1,000 billion is a trillion of rupees, and we have almost touched 10 trillion rupees per month. That is a lot. If I were just to take an average, assuming that the growth does not continue, I'm just taking an average of past 9 months. So what I do is, I randomly a value that, okay, this is the average value, and this is what is going to sustain for the next 1 year. Then this is something like 500, 7750, this is the figure, 7750 billion, that is 7.7 trillion is the volume of transaction in 1 month. You multiply that by 12 and you get something like 93 trillion US dollars. What is the size of our economy today? In GDP terms, it's like 3 trillion. Okay. So if you put this in the perspective of the size of our economy, then of course this is not exactly the same as GDP. It's different from GDP, but if you put it in the perspective of GDP, then about 40% of the business that is being done through just one mode of payment, that is UPI. So this is a huge success and it is growing very, very fast. All of us, I know, use UPI. During the lockdown, when we were avoiding handling current notes, particularly when there was problem of change, you could see even the small shopkeepers like Sabji Wala, Phal Wala, they also used to display the QR codes, and that has continued till today. So today you can make digital payments available, and that is why UPI is so popular. Now, there is another success story, and this is what I wanted to highlight, because VC sir specifically said, do not forget the human part of it. So, a big part of our country is not so privileged. Does our digital payment system reach these people? Aadhaar-enabled payment systems are designed exactly for that. Now, when compared with UPI, that we are addressing the part of the population that does not have mechanism. For those of us who work in finance, one of the problems is how do we achieve financial inclusion? And there is a speech by former executive director of RBI, of 2008, in which she says that it's very difficult to set up a bank branch so that everyone can have access, because we are so part of India lives in heights or mountains, part of it is in. What this AES does is, can you see what is being shown in the image? It's a kirana shop, the kind of a kirana shop typically which you would have in a village. Now, in a kirana shop, you have a board which says, यहाँ पर बचत खाता खोल सकते हैं. That is right now. SBI, other banks are also doing it. What they do is, within the same village, they appoint an individual as a business correspondent. So this young boy here is the business correspondent, and look at the devices that he needs. This is all that it is now much more miniature than this. So he needs a basic phone. You see, I have not shown a smartphone. It's a feature phone. He needs a fingerprint reader, and he needs a small printer. What it does is that the banking correspondent, this young boy, works on behalf of the bank. He goes to door. If someone wants to make a deposit, he will accept the deposit against the Aadhaar card, because the bank Aadhaar linking has been done. If someone wants to make a withdrawal, he will dispense money up to 2,000 rupees. So, I just wanted to show this. See, this is a lady who is using the machine, and it's not very clear in this image. This is what the AES machine looks like. It is called a micro ATM, because that's exactly what an ATM does. It's exactly the same as a POS machine. जैसे हम merchant establishment में जाते हैं, अपना कार्ड सेव करते हैं, with the only difference that it also has a fingerprint reader built in. So your Aadhaar has biometrics captured in it. It is linked with your bank account. So if you need to withdraw money, you can simply ask the banking correspondent or the business correspondent to come to your doorstep and he will dispense the money. If you want to make a deposit, he will deposit the money and give you a receipt for it. This is one of the cards which is given by BOA. Now, one of the images which I find most appropriate here is, you see this farmer, he's sitting on top of a stack of maybe sugarcane or hay, and he's actually doing his banking sitting there. The problem for a person who is a daily wage earner is that if he needs to go to, he or she needs to go to the bank, he'll probably have to lose half a day of labor or maybe entire day of labor traveling to the bank to make a deposit or a withdrawal, which is why it was difficult to get people to come into banking. But now he's not losing his work, he's still doing his work and is able to do banking. So that is the beauty of AEPS. And this video, if you just do a search on Google, AEPS video, you'll be able to see it. It's a 2.5 minute video. I would just suggest that most of you, if you're interested, have a look at it. Okay. Now, before I close, what I've done is I have brought a list, compiled a list of what has enabled this digital revolution across the world. What are the enablers or what are the catalysts? First, of course, is the internet. Needs no introduction. The second one is the availability of mobile telecommunication. And why mobile telecommunication is important is because if you look at a village, they also need internet access to become digital. If you try to take leased line or a landline to the village, then there are two limitations. One thing is it's a physical limitation. It's very difficult to get a cable to that place. And at the same time, if you're using a device like a PC, then you need continuous power. And continuous power is not available in many of our cities, leave alone villages. As compared to that, if you are able to do your, if you are able to access the internet on the mobile phone, then you have mobile towers which cover huge geographical areas. And it takes very little to keep a mobile device charged. So that is why mobile telecommunication is an important enabler of the digital revolution. Then what Arun sir just mentioned, we have convergence, we have cloud computing, we have, see, the rate at which technology grows in itself is an enabler. Technology grows so fast that the revolution is going to happen. And in the Indian context, we have UID. So these are some of the important catalysts of the digital revolution. Internet, mobile telecommunication, convergence. You can see that, like sir mentioned, all your devices are going into your cell phone. Yesterday, Apple said goodbye to one of its iconic devices, the iPad, the iPod. Now, why do they have to get rid of the iPod? Because most of us don't really need an iPod today. We can listen to music on our phones. So you can watch movies, you can play games, you can store your data, you can use it as a pen drive. मुझे तो लगता है कि कोई इनोवेशन ऐसा भी आ जाएगा कि आप उसमें पानी भी भर सकते हैं, वाटर बॉटल की भी जरूरत नहीं रहेगी. So your mobile phone is going to be able to do all of that for you. Then of course we have cloud computing. The pace of technology change, and in the case of India, the presence of something called Aadhaar or UID. So this is it from my side. In closing, I would like to add one word, and I'm addressing the young researchers here and the young faculty, like sir said, always be so all of us are researchers. Now, somehow we get lost in the paradigm of the term research and we take it to be research. Research term actually comes from French and it means the process of a systematic search. The word re is not important here. What I observe my scholars or scholars in my institute doing is that they are trying to reinvent the wheel. They are looking at what has been done and just trying to do the same thing once again. So they are actually doing the research. It's also called paralysis of analysis. You get so involved in analysis that you cannot move forward. I was present at the evaluation of one of our scholars who was working on digital supply chains. And what he was talking about is how you apply a digital technology to a supply chain. Now that the vendor of the technology can very well tell you. what you need to be able to see is what is the technology that is going to evolve 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, and how do we get there? How do we use that technology? Most of the technology that we see in our hands today has been in development phase for 7 or 8 years. So people have been working in advance, that is why it becomes a new technology. So as a researcher, please remember that it is important to look forward and try to do what process, what is going to happen down the line and work on that rather than just working on what has already been done and its applications. So that, because it's the beginning of a conference, I thought it would be a good place to start. So I brought it up. Thank you all very much for listening to me. I thank the Institute administration for inviting me here. Thank you, and I wish all the best for a very successful conference.
Sir, I request you to please stay on the stage. I request our Vice President, sir, to please come on the stage to honor our guest. I request Principal, sir, to please come on the stage. I request Professor Arun Kumar, sir, to please come on the stage. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Professor Sanjay Srivastava, sir, to present a memento to Professor Archana Chandra, ma'am, Department of Commerce at Professor Rajendra Singh Raju Bhaiya University. Now I request Professor H.P. Shukla, sir, Principal UCR, to present a memento to Dr. Manju Singh, Head of Department of Commerce, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Government PG College, Prayagraj. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request our Vice President, sir, Mr. Gaurav Gulati, sir, to extend the vote of thanks. I request Professor Anand Mohan Agarwal, sir.
मुझे रिक्वेस्ट
I request our Principal, sir, to present a memento to Professor Anand Agarwal, sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, United University, Prayagraj. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request our Vice President, sir, Mr. Gaurav Gulati, sir, to please extend vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I will not take too much of your time. Respected dignitaries, faculty members, scholars, delegates who have come to attend the conference today, and obviously our dear students. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be extending vote of thanks today in this conference, which is, I completely believe, business management in digital environment. There cannot be a more relevant title for a conference in today's time, where, like Dr. Tanuj elucidated in his presentation, that this is the way forward, and in the last 2-3 years especially, how we have literally made almost 100% of the environment digital as far as our working is concerned. And like in the presentation, that it has its pros and cons. I believe I have to start by thanking our Vice Chancellor, sir, in absentia. Sir was very busy today. Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Singh. It is an absolute honor that our Vice Chancellor, sir, took out his precious time and attended this conference as a chief guest. आप लोगों को पता लगा होगा, सर ने अपनी स्पीच में बोला कि this is the first time he is visiting any affiliated university of Dr. Rajendra Prasad University. And just to give you a perspective, इस यूनिवर्सिटी में 650 कॉलेज हैं. तो 650 कॉलेजेस में आपका कॉलेज पहला था जहाँ आपके वाइस चांसलर है. So we should consider ourselves very, very fortunate that sir could spare time and gave a wonderful speech. And through his speech, it was very evident that he's the best possible guiding light, sir, for being there. Professor Arun Kumar, sir, we know you are a blend of an academician and an entrepreneur, and one of the rarest species in the city of Allahabad. Thank you for sparing your time, sir. What can I say? In addition to thanking us for coming to this seminar, we have a bigger reason to thank you, because you are the guru of our guru, which makes a big difference. So we should thank you in continuity, in longer term, because sir keeps saying that whatever attributes he has attained in the last 3-4 years, you are largely responsible for that. And believe me, he says this in absentia and quite frequently. So we are fortunate to have you, and we are fortunate that under your guidance, our head of institutions has taken the institution to another level. Thank you, sir, for your time. Professor Tanuj Nandan, sir, I was fortunate to hear your session for a short while. A true academician, a very established person in academic circles of Allahabad. Thank you for giving your time, sir, and giving a keynote address and opening our eyes to many amazing facts about digital transactions. Frankly speaking, I was not aware that something like UPI is so dominant that 40% of the transactions in the whole of the country are happening through UPI. And many such facts that were shared by you in a well-researched, well-worked-out presentation. Thank you for your time, sir. We are absolutely glad that you could come to us today. Professor Vivek Kumar from Dr. Rajendra Prasad University was there. Right now, he's not here, but I thank him in absentia. He had to go because of some important work. Dr. Manju Singh, what do I say? All I can say is that not just today, for last many years, ma'am has gone out of her way multiple times to help and support United Group. So I should not thank you for today. I should thank you for every day that you have helped us, ma'am. And please keep supporting us. Your academic guidance and your general guidance to the group is really appreciated. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to highlight the presence of Professor Archana Chandra, ma'am, senior academician from our university. We keep seeking your guidance, ma'am. Thank you for coming. Professor A.M. Agarwal, sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, he was telling me, मुझे thank मत बोलना, मैं घर वाला हूँ. लेकिन sir, like you know, it is due, and like in your presentation, you told technology is a double-edged sword, but we will make sure that we use it in the right way. I am sure the way you highlighted it to the students, it is going to help them immensely. Thank you for your time, sir, and always grateful to you for whatever you do, sir. I think more than thank you, recognition is due for one of the most important persons responsible for this event today, our head of institution, Dr. Bmde Tiwari. Please give him a big round of applause. We work in a team, but there is always one engine that moves all the bogies. Sir is an initiator par excellence. I can vouch for it. And again, I cannot thank you, but I can always tell you, sir, amazing work. Please keep doing it the same way. We are going to enter our technical sessions after this break. So my request to the delegates and students is simple. It's a wonderful topic, and I hope that we attend the sessions with the purpose of learning and not with the purpose of getting a certificate. So please use your next 2 days, like Abhibal sir said, that in a conference you attend to learn things that are not usually taught in your classes or in your lecture. So make the best use of it, and I am pretty sure this conference is going to be a big success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request all the dignitaries to move for a high tea. Students, keep sitting.
National anthem.
Yes, please stand up for a national anthem.
They will move to the campus.
All the students move to the campus, all the faculty members are requested to move to the campus for high tea arrangement.
Faculty and students also.
All the students and faculties. Thank you so much.